DCSS considered harmful. Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup's Totalitarian developers. This is a video essay about an online community. Anyone who follows my channel knows that I've played a lot of DCSS. It's an old roguelike video game, and honestly, it's a pretty interesting game. Over the years, I've had my differences with some of the developers of that game. They tend to be very unwelcoming of outsiders. They're very cliquish. Outside code contributors are really treated like garbage most of the time, and I could make a video about the subject. In fact, I might. There's a lot to talk about. Sometimes the developers are outright cruel, playing weird pranks on newbies and giving them bad advice on purpose. It's enough to say that we don't get along. So anyway, I recently made this post. In the .25 tournament, there was a team that was named Black Lives Matter in all caps. Alright, that's fine. Personally, I can get behind people voicing their political opinions in their team names. It's totally fine by me. However, this is a controversial topic, and we really shouldn't pretend that it's not. If this kind of political speech is being allowed in team names, I wanted to know if all kinds of politics would be allowed in team names. So I asked this question. Are political statements in clan names allowed now? If I had made one named White Lives Matter, would I have been banned? I want to be clear. I'm not, and I was not, trying to debate the merits of BLM. I just wanted to know if the rules would be applied fairly in both directions. So I asked. The answer wasn't just no. It was no, and now you're banned for wrongthink, and also we're going to take your videos off of the DCSS sidebar as punishment because you asked some questions that we didn't like. They can't tolerate any ideas that they dislike or disagree with, and they even silence people who ask questions, like here, where I just wanted to know what the rules of the tournament were and how they'd be enforced in the future. Later, A. Malloy tried to justify it by saying that I'd been downvoted too many times and that I wasn't learning from it. It's a pretty thin excuse. Nobody ever told me that being disliked by some members of the sub would get me banned, and my overwhelmingly positive karma in the sub pretty clearly indicates that I'm not the kind of villain that he's trying to say that I am. Really what this is, it's an excuse for totalitarians to get rid of someone who asks questions that they don't like. Look no further than the fact that they took my videos off the sidebar. Why would my conduct on the subreddit impact whether or not my videos are a good resource? The worst of the developers, arguably the head developer, has driven many people from the community. This guy is one of the most abusive people that I've had the displeasure of meeting on the internet. Whenever he has a disagreement with someone, even a minor one, he has a tendency to slander that person as a white supremacist, as alt-right, as a bigot, and so on. I've even seen him do this to people with left-wing politics. He doesn't actually believe these insults, he just knows that they're a good way to make the person hated by strangers who don't know any better. He also has a history of doing really bizarre things, like denying people access to information bots, as some kind of punishment for perceived slights. Guess I can't find out how much damage this ogre does today. Head developer of DCSS won't let me. This individual, more than any other, is responsible for the gradual toxification of DCSS's development community. Everyone else on the dev team has endorsed his malicious actions, either tacitly or openly. He's what you might call a missing stair. Everyone is so used to dealing with this guy that they think it's normal. Like a missing stair in your basement, they expect everyone to just step over it in order to avoid tripping or breaking a leg. God forbid they fix the stair. God forbid they replace the staircase, you just have to deal with it. The point of this video is to warn people away from the DCSS community. Now the game itself, that's something special, and although development has gone in increasingly bad directions over the years, there are alternatives. This is an open source game. There are a great number of forks. There's B-Crawl, there's Bacadron Crawl, and there's many others. My website, dungeoncrawlstonesoup.com, will keep a running list of these forks. I encourage you to check these out. For the most part, you'll find that the devs of these forks don't hate their player base, and are actually very open to hearing from their players. This is a very welcome change, and one day I hope that one of these forks will become the most popular version of DCSS. They deserve it, and they certainly deserve it more than the totalitarians who run the existing game. That's about all. Hope you guys enjoyed my essay. Till next time, I am signing out.